Hello and welcome. Today we're at LEGOLAND Billund and we're about to take a very detailed tour around their Miniland area. Now there are games to be played. We're going to play Spot every time I change the battery, Spot all the new models that they've added for the 2022 season, all the animatronics that are working and so on and so forth. But yes, this video is an hour and a half long. So in certain sections I will go quiet for you guys and girls to soak in all the different bits and pieces, but I will be speaking for lots of it to fill in the gaps. Now there is lots and lots and lots of things to see with regards to just this first area alone. So we've got all the massive airplanes. Now this airport is actually based on the Billund airport, obviously because we are in Denmark, and this is a set that you can get, which is an exclusive set to the Lego shop at the airport itself on the way out. So you can only get this as you're about to board the plane, so you will need a ticket to go somewhere to be able to pick up this exclusive set. So as we go around, we will hunt down all the different bits and pieces. I'll read out what I can read out with regards to stats and everything, but like I said, this is the most detailed video I have ever done for a Miniland period. I have got my monster with me and a big bar of Aero chocolate to keep me going, so I suggest you might want to do the same. Put your feet up and then join in. Anything that you spot, anything I miss, any ideas that you get with regards to adding it into your own Lego city in a smaller scale, then obviously please let me know in the comments below. How does this Miniland compare to yours? Because I can only compare this to the one in Dubai, Germany and Windsor. So if you've not been to any of those, there are videos available and coming available for all their Miniland section. But if you have been to a different park, then actually please do let me know now. That button I pushed, the animatronics are working for the engine noises now again for the airplanes and all the different bits and pieces. Now this is spread over a huge area, so we do try and go around and do everything in a full loop. Now they have redone one of the areas completely, so there's lots of new things to see on that and all the bits and pieces working, and there's a huge new boat that they've added in as well. So there is quite a lot of new things that they've added in for the 2022 season, and as you can see, plenty of people walking around. This is sort of mid-afternoon, shops now open, everybody's getting on all the rides and everything like that, and I thought, right, this is the time I want to come round and just do this. I had no idea I was probably in this zone for about 2 hours, walking around, soaking it all in, and then filming absolutely everything. So the area that we're coming to now, a lot of this is brand new and it has just been installed for 2022. So I did a walkthrough in 2021 and this area was completely blank and empty. So what they've done, they've pulled it all out, fully refurbed everything. We'll have a really good look at the boat and everything after that. But everything is working really well with regards to the trucks and cars going around, and you've got all the trains and everything. But look at the size of these boats. But obviously, apart from my voice, it is lovely and peaceful at this time. If you catch it at the right time, it works like an absolute dream. If you try and get here once all the rides have closed, then it is an absolute nightmare just to try and walk around and soak absolutely everything in and get nice and close, because obviously everybody will then come to here, then they go to the shop and move on. But there's lots of hidden details within, so you can see all these new trucks and the construction crew. Everything of this is brand new for 2022, or they've just rearranged it slightly differently with regards to where they put the bits and pieces. But I think there's a lot more animatronics working this time with regards to all the trucks. The trains are working like an absolute dream. You can see them going over the bridge. You've got the big factory behind is saying some bits and pieces, so I will go quiet now so you can listen to what it's saying. Maybe not. Maybe I got that wrong. I thought it was supposed to be speaking, but it was maybe just those two beside it, so we couldn't hear it. But I think it was giving off instructions of what to do, so we might catch that round as we go. Now, there's lots of hidden little gems within here as well. So you've got all these little tents and pitching areas, and all the little people on the bikes going down the hill. Just have a look round in all the shrubbery. Have I missed anything? I'm looking through a much smaller screen, and then obviously you guys can watch it back on your telly. You've got the horses and things. I think they were there maybe last time, or they've just been placed in a different area. I think they've even redone all the stone around the track as well. So this is a really nice area. So everything that we're now seeing, like I said, to the left hand side, you can see this roof. Everything is different. Everything is new, or it's just been completely refurbed and just sort of had a good spruce up, but that's definitely had a brand new roof. So it'd be interesting to see what they're going to be doing for the next year. Windsor itself did a big area as well. They redid the whole of Santa Pod, which has come out really, really nicely in one of the other videos that is done in the Legoland Windsor 2022 playlist. So there are different playlists available, like I keep saying, with regard to where you can find the different bits and pieces. So we've got a playlist for Dubai currently, we've got a 2022 playlist going for Dubai, Billund, Windsor, and hopefully later on in the year it'll be Germany as well. And then maybe next year try and attack all the parks in America, but we will just keep going. And obviously your support is absolutely massive, so if you keep liking the video and subscribing and everything else like that, it really does make a massive difference with the algorithm. So a huge thank you to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel recently, and just everything with regards to views and stuff. It's been fantastic. So guys, thank you very much indeed for all your support so far. So enough about me and the channel, and back on to what you are here for. So again, you've got all these cool little animals just hidden away. These are something that you could easily miss just as you walk around, because it blends in very, very easily with regards to the ground, and makes a big difference with regards to how the sun comes in from behind the clouds and stuff. So if you were to walk around this and it was gorgeous, gorgeous sunshine, obviously a lot of the colours pop, but when it comes over a bit more sort of muggy cloud like it kind of is now, some of the little bits and pieces like the browns are a little bit hard to spot, especially if you're trying to look through a camera lens. So you've really got to try and stop and soak it all in. But again, there's plenty of sounds going on in the background. So you can hear all the music's working very, very well from inside of all this, and you can see how they've just put all the plants and everything on. Even the bells are working perfectly now. So you can definitely tell that it's had a good bit of TLC from when it closed in 2021, and they've really hit the ground running in 2022. And it's also all the rides and stuff. Not that they were ever bad or anything like that, but it just seems everything's working really smooth. And it is quite loud if you think about it, from how far back that sort of yellow church area is and how clear all the noises are. Again, that's some farm animals that are making some noises there. Everything's just working in conjunction with each other really well. And then you get all the sound effects from the trains as they go by, and it's just really nice. As you walk around, you get the different pockets of this land. So this is still the brand new area that we're walking around for 2022, and again, there is another train going around. So as you've noticed, there's actually only one track on this side. There's actually two tracks on the other, so you're going to have to spot where those tracks split. Now this is another little thing. Look, so if you spot the water, and then you've got all the figures and everything up top, but you've got all like the big docks and things. That is a working area. Now I thought the video was going to be long anyway, so I didn't try and stop for absolutely everything. Like I said, I had no idea that this was going to be near enough an hour and a half of just me walking around. You really, really do lose time. But I highly recommend it, because obviously if you're into all your Lego models and things, what you can do in the morning, you can shoot off, you can get on one or two of the rides, grab yourself a bite to eat and some lunch, and then have a really good look at all these bits and pieces. Then at sort of 3-4 o'clock, then maybe get yourself back on a couple of rides, then get yourself into the shop and then leave. So you can really easily spread the day up, and hopefully maybe one day they might add on a like a walkthrough attraction like they've done in Windsor with regards to their Mythica. So again, you'll have even more models and everything to have a look at, but we'll see what happens in the future. I would love to see more walk-through Lego attractions like they did have in Windsor with the Star Wars one, which then disappeared, but now they've just added the Mythica walkthrough. This did have another attraction, I do believe, at a big Star Wars area, I do believe, but that's now obviously all been packed away and been changed to the Lego Movie 2 section. But yep, lots to look at, lots to think of, and just lots to look forward to with regards to all the new stuff that keeps coming. So it's just a good excuse to keep coming back year on year on year. And again, you can hear the music in the background. It's just nice. So remember, the games that we're playing is spot all the new models, spot what I miss, spot the battery changes, because some of them are really, really smooth. So you'll see what I mean. And then the camera starts overheating as well, so you'll be able to see where the camera starts overheating. So you have to sort of make like a tally list as we go, and then just drop some comments through the video and at the end of the video as well, guys, for a bit of fun. That's one. I'll give you that one. See, that is a battery change. I didn't think that one was too bad, to be honest. I thought I managed to be able to hold the camera cleanly enough, take the battery out, put the battery back in and carry on. But that's the kind of thing that you're going to need to spot. So that's one battery down already. Now, again, all this is brand new, and they have done this for the Santa Pod Raceway in Windsor as well. These move, I do believe it's either on a timer or on a button. There we go, look at that timing. So it's either on a timer or a button or a sensor, so it knows that you're there. And all of the little games and things behind it are very, very similar to what they've added in Windsor as well. And obviously I love all the theme park aspect of everything, so you can get some really good ideas with regards to just stuff that you can add into your own theme park. If I remember rightly, the German Miniland, the Germany park, has a brilliant theme park section, which I've got photos of, but I've got no videos of. Right, so two trains side by side. So where did those tracks appear from? And you can see how long those trains are as well. So they will shoot off in a second. You've got the train station there. So that's train number 3. And we've also got the massive boat as well. So there's lots and lots of tracks and everything to look at and really soak in. But this boat is brand new. There is stats and things available for this boat with regards to how many bricks and things it was. I can't remember, obviously, off the top of my head exactly what the brick count and everything was and how they managed to get all the little bits and pieces in. But if I can find any information about it, I obviously will do. You've got the Coca-Cola van. So again, that's another nice thing that they've got in with regards to their park, and everything out the front of this, it's all new. So I have just gone on to the multitasking now. I've just gone on to the Legoland Billund Instagram page, and I am trying to scroll down and see when this boat was installed. I'll let you soak it in just for a second. You can see all the trains and everything going by. It's very, very nice to soak it all in. So I found the post of them doing the actual renovation. Can I find the picture of the boat? Let's have a look. So if you don't follow them on Instagram, guys, it is actually worth doing because it does give you a lot of information with regards to all the models that they're adding in and just everything with regards to all the bits and pieces that are new and all the different areas and when they open up as well. So if you are local or you're thinking of going soon, they have got some nice bits and pieces on there. We are about to move on to the next land. Right, I have found some information. Obviously it's not in English, but I can tell you it's 5.5 meters long for a start. So that's not too bad. So it's 5.5 meters long. I bet it doesn't give the brick count. Still going through. No. It just says that the German area in Miniland has become so amazingly beautiful after it's undergone a huge renovation. So that was the outskirts of Germany that we're walking around, and it was just showing off all the bits and pieces with regards to all the new bits that they've added in. And annoyingly, it didn't give the brick count, but there we go. It is what it is. Still going through their page. No, failed on that one, guys. I failed you. So again, look at the size of this model. It is absolutely massive. They use hundreds and thousands of bricks, and the detail with all of this is just spectacular, really. Like I said, you can really, really soak it in. You can just see it from all sides, just how beautiful these buildings are with regards to just the effort. And I think they're really, really well maintained. They don't look weathered. They're not that dirty either. Bearing in mind, you've got to imagine we are just coming out of their winter season. And like all the grass and everything, just how it's all cut, it all just looks neat and tidy. So whoever is the groundkeeping staff within the Miniland area, guys, you deserve a little award for that, because it is massively appreciated. Now this one is awful. You ready? Have that for a transaction. So that's another battery changed. So we're now into all the different buildings. Now this building to the right hand side on the floor, if you look, there's like a little pad. Now what you can do is you jump on that pad, it makes a noise and it starts making some lights go up the side of the building. Now when I was walking past before, all the little ones and the big ones were jumping up and down on that, but I'm not too sure if I managed to catch it on camera with regards to somebody actually giving it a go now. But you can see how this is slightly different with regards to just the scale of the actual models that they use. They're all a little bit smaller. They're almost like micro scale, really. They're not like the ones that they've got in the Miniland, but if you listen to all the noises, so that violin noise was actually somebody jumping on that building to catch the light. So I would imagine in a second they might carry on doing that to see if they can get it up to the top. But there is a lot of these huge tall skyscrapers here. Very, very similar buildings to what they've got over in Dubai. So if you check out the Dubai Miniland area, they've got these in a long line. They don't have the bits and pieces at the bottom, but again, there is a lot of different bits and pieces to see within each Miniland. Each Miniland is completely different. So obviously we just walked around the little section in Germany, and then we've got a lot of these tall buildings to go around, and then it basically, from what I can gather, all different pieces within Denmark and Billund and everything like that. Windsor, you've got each country to its own, so they're just completely different with regards to, obviously you've got London and you've got France and you've got Italy and so on and so forth. Dubai is basically Dubai, and I don't know what Germany is because I haven't been there for so long. So if you have been to the German part this year, in the comments below, let everybody know. Start using the comments as sort of a community feel, and then when we go live on a Thursday night, which is going to be a regular thing, everybody can catch up with all the information of either the Lego sets that have been released or just information with regards to parks of accommodation and bits like that. So this is what you've got to do. You can see that little, and you can see the lights. So you can see him absolutely smashing his feet down. You can just do high knees on it, I do believe, and each little tap on there. So you don't have to jar your kneecaps doing it. You can just do little bounces, and it will take it straight up to the top. And obviously it plays the song as he goes all the way up to the top. So again, lots of detail underneath this one. So if you've actually been here in real life, is it as pretty as what this is in Lego? Because some people say it's gorgeous, some people obviously don't. Now, straight line, if you can go through in that straight line, it would be worth going halfway down, A, because of the toilet block on the left-hand side, but the exciting thing is on the right-hand side, because it has the full history of the park. Now, that is available in a different video, that is up within the Billund 2022 playlist. We end up going around the top of the Duplo section, we come around the driving school, go into that tunnel, and that tunnel has, from when the park opened, all to the present date of when each land and section opened, with regards to like when they installed the log flume, when they installed the roller coasters, the aquarium and everything like that. So it's a really good, interesting history of the company with regards to just all the different bits and pieces that are in there. Definitely worth having a look because, like I said, you can soak in the history of the actual Legoland itself, not just the Miniland. And it's just a quiet place where you can stop off. You know, if you need, there is some benches either side of it, but there's not benches with it where you can just sit down and have a read. But you get away from the hustle and bustle, because not a lot of people actually use that as a cut through either. But it is a much shorter way to get through. Now again, lots of noise being made. So each building does have its own sound effects, and it's all the hustle and bustle of everything else. So out of all those big buildings, which was your favourite one with regards to just scale, colour and everything else like that, now it is time to get back into the Miniland and just start having a look at absolutely everything. So we are currently 18.5 minutes in, which means we have an hour and 10 minutes to go. Now I say this in every single video, if my voice is boring, just mute. Just have a mute. Remember, we are playing a couple of different games as well, and things like this I think always look really, really pretty. There is a lot of detail within that and how they've used all the browns, they've got all the wood, and it's just how they've used all the plants with the actual Lego side of everything as well. I think it's just such a nice display. There's loads and loads of space within this Miniland, as in not only is it just a vast area, but with regards to how you walk around, the actual area of each land is really, really big. So you've really got to sort of pay attention and zoom in just to little things like that, where they've got little monuments and statues of the little Lego figures and things, and they just put them by the lake, and then you've got to pay a massive amount of attention just to everything else that is available. Again, you've got a new train there, I do believe, with the coal, and then you've got the yellow building, so it all looks really, really pretty. Yes, if you caught that one, that was another battery change or an overheating thing. So you can let me know what you think with regards to, is the camera overheating or is it the battery? I would imagine that would have overheated, to be honest, rather than the battery, because it has only been this far in. But all the trains were working nicely, so I do believe we get to watch this one. Might pull off, but have a look at all the bikes, have a look at everybody that's in the station. if you do pay attention, there is a lot going on everywhere. And it's just nice little touches, like they've added in all the Lego bikes, they've added in everything else. The train tracks are very, very active with regards to some of the certain lands, and obviously you've got the windmills and everything else like that. So there is a lot of everything going on. It's just a nice, vibrant place, like I said, when it's sunny. Last time I came this way, it was raining and miserable and horrible, but it was still a really nice, enjoyable experience. And again, with the roof and everything, I think it's really, really nice just how they've added in all the texture and all the details and everything. So I could spend, well, I have spent a huge amount of time within this Miniland, and I would very happily just go back next week and just walk around and see if there's anything else that I've missed and spot. We will try and do something like this again for Halloween, depending on the time of day, because I want to go back for the 2022 season at Halloween and see all of this lit up at night. But obviously I won't be able to use this camera, I'm going to have to use the GoPro, so we're not going to be able to zoom in and zoom out. But it'd be a nice walkthrough coming from there. And now if I can do it with this as well, there is a video available from last year from Halloween, and everything that they add on to every single land, like all these little trees, they'll be wrapped in little pumpkin heads and all little Easter eggs with regarding to Halloween, and they've got all different figures and stuff on the grass and zombies coming out the church grounds and things. They really, really go heavy with regards to that area, and I think it's just really, really nice. Now, sticking with what is currently in front of us, I think that looks new to me on the bottom left hand corner. So you've got the animals behind it, which look slightly older, but that blue building with those figures look brand new. You can just slightly tell with the colours of things, which obviously they get sun worn over a long period of time. Some of them stand out like a sore thumb in certain parts, but it's a much harder to spot in here. And you can see they planted all the new flowers and everything, but you've got all of these little cleaning crew, and you've got everything in front. All the minifigures are stood up nicely, nothing's fallen over, and again, just look how pretty it all is. But it is very, very easy just to see all the big buildings, then miss all these horses and carriages and just all these other little bits and pieces that they've got going down all of these sort of little roads and avenues that they've added in, because you could easily just walk around the outside, not get too close. Like there's a horse and cart there that I didn't zoom in on because obviously I didn't see it, but there is other bits and pieces about. You've got all the animals and things just there. There's the horse and cart, so I did catch it. You've got a little farm bit. It looks like there's a little wedding going on there maybe as well, so that's another nice little, really nice pretty scene. Just any ideas that you've got for your own cities, guys, it's just nice to have a look at. Obviously, I think it might be a bit difficult adding in real shrubbery into your own Legoland. I mean, that might be a step too far, but you can always make it on a much smaller scale with regards to just actually adding in the elements of what you can find at your pad balls and things like that. So that is a full loop of that land. Now we are going to do the traditional thing of going around this one. I think we do a full loop of this one, and then when we stop and start it here, we'll have a look at that amazing lake and waterfall. That's where I'll go quiet for 30 seconds, grab a quick drink, and then we'll carry on. Because I do want to try and do this in one take, because obviously it's going to take a long time as it is. But lots and lots of things to soak in on this, and the age has changed completely, because the section that we were in just then was their interpretation of what they thought things would look like back in the day, and now we're coming back into more of a modern area with regards to actually going into cities, and this is actually based on certain areas, I do believe, within Denmark and everything else like that. So that is why there was a lot of horses and carts in the one section, and now we're all back into modern trains, and you've got everything else that is modern. But you can just see the red is slightly different shade here than it is to that other area, so it does look like that other area had been refurbed recently as well. So it wouldn't surprise me that in a year or two's time they'll end up replacing a lot of the red just to spruce it all back up. But you can just know the amount of bricks that they need to be able to do that, and just the time and effort it takes. But it still looks absolutely fantastic. And then we are coming round to a couple of these buildings. Again, you've got to spot the trains that are going around, but spot the figures, because they put white on the sand. And then as we come around through all the trees and things, they've added in lots of display pieces just in there. And then as we come through, there's a lot more things to see within that building, which I've just walked straight past because I didn't see it when I was there, so I don't know what was in that bit. which is annoying. I should have stopped and zoomed in. That's why you can just keep doing it. Lots of cars on the gravel, and then you've got all the pretty water and everything around the outside. And again, it just sounds nice as well. Take a listen. So you've got the effects of the water, and then you've got effects of the blades. Obviously, you've got the seagulls and everything in the background. It looks like they've got some sort of solar panel bits and pieces there. Then this is was a working dock, which we will now pan up and have a look at a different angle. But it's just the textures and all the roofs are all slightly different with regards to if it's the red ones or the black ones, or it's the thatch roofs, and how they've just got it all layered, and all the building techniques that they use are completely different. And again, even just the slopes and angles and all the red roofs, if you start paying attention to all of them, they're all different as well. So the designers have really gone to town with all of this. I do like how there's a lot of water with and around all the buildings. I think there's just a lot to look at. There's a lot of boats to soak in. And then if you can zoom in enough on your camera, because this camera's near enough zoomed all the way in, there'll be people having like little barbecues and eating different bits and pieces on the boats. So there is lots and lots to see, lots to take in visually, and obviously the sound effects of everything. There's a lot to take in as well. So it is a really beautiful and spectacular area with regards to where we are stood. And then we will pan round and we will just keep going around and have a look up. So each land is large, because this is only land maybe 3, so land area 3 or 4. So there's lots to see still, and within each section you really got to zoom in and pan in and just make sure that you can catch all of these vehicles. Again, there's more bikes there. Looks like there's a removals truck. You've got a trailer with the car. What else have we got down that street? Just lots of everything. And again, some of the streets are older because they're pebble based. Some of them they put down sort of new tarmac and concrete and everything like that. So again, each area that we come in is just completely different. And then as we come up, you've got all the NASA stuff. So you've got the American stuff up at the top, which is all now working, and it looks like that had a bit of a spruce up from last year as well. But it's just the scale of the buildings that they've got here. A lot of the buildings are absolutely massive, like this thing directly in front of us. It's huge, but then you've got all the monuments and stuff just by the front door. And then as we go around, we've got all the figures and everything walking into the building. You've got all the cars around the outside, and again, it just links in with the track, and it links in with all the shrubbery. And then all of a sudden, we're now over to the harbour bit where you've got all the boats and everything on the top. Now, there is, if you listen, so hopefully that's coming through clear enough. You've got all the saws, you've got everything like that, and you've just got, there was a couple of push buttons and everything there, so that is the full loop. Now I'm going to use this as a perfect time to grab a quick drink, while you guys now turn around and have a look at the water, and let me know what you think of this little beautiful thing here. What did we think of that? So we've got plenty of benches to sit on. That's another thing about this Miniland. There's loads of areas that you can just sit down with your drink and your food and just soak it all in. And again, obviously sat by that water, it's very pretty. Now we're moving on to the next bit here. So we do a loop here, then we've got the bit on the left, and we've got another bit on the right. There's the air balloon animatronics. You've got lots of trains to have a look at, and then you've got all the blades and everything moving around as well. So there's a lot going on in just this small area. But you will hear the person eventually push the button for the air balloon, but there's also water. Here we go. So you've got to push the buttons differently, and you can see that they will end up coming through, and you get all 3 of them going. That is up to you to do with the bit where that lady was stood with her little one, and then they end up getting all of this going, and then obviously the boats will actually go over, or through, shall I say, the little drops, because there's a boat going around. If you look carefully, I think it's just on the left hand side there, and you can see how it all works within the water, which is very clever. So that big thing there, that will loop round, and then the water will hit that as it goes through on the other side. But again, if you look, it's full of just little models. And then you've got the air balloon, which does make obviously the air balloon noise as it takes off and goes up. We're half an hour in, so we're not doing too bad. We've got an hour left. And then we've got all of these amazing buildings. Now, as you can see with the rows and how it's changed, and you can see now how all the animatronics will be easily moving on this. So there's a lot more cars to have a look at. You've got a lot of buildings, lots of track, and again, there's a lot of water. So you've got 3 or 4 different things that will be moving all at the same time. So that's why you can just stop and look now. Listen to the air balloon. So you can just see how far back that is when I zoomed out, and you can see how loud the noise is to the animatronic as well, because I think it's deceiving on camera how deep these lands are, because the ones in Windsor, they're very, very long, but they're more narrow than this one, whereas all of these are on a huge area, so it takes a good while to walk around. That's why a lot of people just tend to stop and just try and soak in everything they can to save their legs to then move on to a different area. So we've got all the solar panels down on this bit, and we've got all the vans and vehicles and everything else like that. And then we've got obviously the power station, and there's a lot of little bits and pieces hidden within. So you've got the forklifts down there, you've got the trucks, you've got the workers. That TV screen wasn't working, but I think that gives you sort of some animatronic bits and pieces to do, because I think they're in the process of still reinstalling bits and pieces after COVID. You've got the petrol pumps there, so you can imagine, I wonder what the fuel prices will be there if they actually manage to keep it from when that was built, rather than what they are now. And then we will come round and have a look at just these other buildings as well. And again, all different building techniques. You've got all the cyclists in the yellow there with the cars going behind. They're dotted around in 1 or 2 bits and pieces, so that's almost like it's the bike race. I think we do see these in 2 other places as well, and they have added in a massive bike race, I do believe, at the one in Windsor I spotted when I went there last. But you can see all the solar panels and stuff made out of Lego on the roof. Lots of those have them now, so I never spotted them originally before. It makes sense if they've got the solar power station and everything there, so obviously they've updated them ever so slightly, because now obviously a lot of houses do have all the solar panels. But as we pan around on the grass, have a look. You've got the lights, you've got the football pitches, you've got the people obviously playing football as well. You've got all the houses, and then again you've got all the trucks and everything driving by. But there are lots of displays like that I probably missed, because you physically have to get onto your hands and knees, or just sit down to get eye level with the actual bits and pieces. So again, you've got these just here, you've got the little family just there, so you've got 4 of them on the right hand side. Then you've got the detail of the roof, you've got more bits and people in the far right hand corner. And then as we come around, you can hear the animatronics of the horses and things. But then in the fields and the grass, you've got all the people. There's people fishing. Now, I do catch that later on in a different section. You've got the car that's coming in and out, so I will push the button so we will see that better. So I will push that now and just go quiet. I think it might make a noise. No, that is the air balloon going off, so it doesn't make a noise. The button itself is just for the actual truck coming out the back. And then again, you've got all the cars and some older bits and pieces in. So there he comes out. So more of a vintage section with this, and then you've got the older car to the left hand side. But again, you can hear the dogs, you can hear just voices. And now we're back at a different train station, and again it's got a completely different display. So you've got tables and chairs out the front. There's no bikes on that one. It's not like they copy, each one's the same. Each one is completely different to have a look at. Now there's a lot going on with this one, and I think they've added in lots of smaller bits and pieces. So the tractor with its lights are working nicely, so that looks brilliant lit up at night, and the noise. And then you've got the little pram at the back, and then you've got obviously the tables and chairs moving around. You've got all of these little guys here. So all of this, I think, was the same from last year. They obviously do move different bits and pieces around. You've got the actual train in the background going by. You've got the big old tractor, and then you've got the animals. So I managed to take a lot of these in. You've got the church music. I do believe that's a Swedish flag in the background as well. So I don't think I've ever spotted that flag before. So that might be a new thing that they've added. Now I do really start to zoom in, because I think what they've done is that they've added some more bits and pieces further on at the back, with regards to like building materials and things like that, because some of the bricks just look brand new. Now get ready for the smooth bit. You'd never know that that battery or the camera had overheated, so hopefully you guys are keeping tally. Now look through the shrubbery, look through everything, and you've got all the building work going on. You've got all the wagons that are sort of tucked just behind the buildings, but just this bit here. So I think all of this timber looks new, and you've got the forklift and everything. I think that's brand new for 2022. That's a little thing that they've added in. I could be miles off, but to me, I can't remember ever seeing that before. But you guys might be like, no, that's been there since it first opened in 1980. So, you know, I could be miles off. So do take what I say with a pinch of salt. But personally, I think that's new for 2022. And then if you notice, there is a path that goes up and around the back. That takes you to a certain bit in a different area of the park, and then between it, obviously, you've got your train tracks like you have just seen. Now there is actually a really nice walkway and a bridge that is a direct cut through that we do on the full park tour, where you can actually come from a higher view and see this area from the actual bridge. The train goes underneath the bridge, and then you can see all of this, like I said, from the aerial bit, but it's just this section that you can see. And there's some nice bits and pieces that you can see it from sort of a different perspective, with little things that they've got hidden on the roof that you might not just be able to see now. If you look at the porches, and you've got all the deckings and stuff, and you've got the second tier bits of decking and stuff on certain buildings, there are a lot of models, figures and displays, and you really got to zoom in and look back really far with regards to, there's obviously, that's easy enough to spot. You've got a broken down car blocking a bus, pulling a caravan, then you've got all the detail in the engine bay with the spanner and stuff like that. But as we come up and come round, you can see how far back it goes. So we will come up and actually loop round and take a better look at that bit, luckily from the back, because this one is deeper again, so it's quite difficult to zoom in. You've got another wagon pulling all the wood and things around, and obviously that looks, the wood on the back of that and the grey looks relatively new on there. And I think it's quite clever how they can easily get all of those bits and pieces moving around with all the Technic bits and bobs, and obviously how they work on all the sensors and stuff. So if you know how that works with regards to going from point A to point B, or if it's very similar to the Mindstorm bits and pieces that you can get, let everybody know in the comments below, because I know a lot of people like to do stuff with their trains but can't actually have a full loop of their track. Now you've got all the signposts, but if you look, you've got the quad bikes in the grass, and it's just paying attention off the big buildings. I think that's the trick with certain areas like this, where it's more green than anything else. They hide a lot of stuff either within the trees, or they just hide stuff in general everywhere, and you've just got to try and spot, like there's a little bird there on the lamppost, and you've got the flags again. Some of them are made out of Lego, some of them are actually fabric flagged on the Lego pole. Boats moving around, so that's nice and simple and easy enough to spot. You've got another truck coming around with a different artwork on the side. So that's a Nogra. I'm not too sure what that is, but if you know what that local company is to this area, then obviously please do let us know. Now we've got these steps that we go up, so it means that we can see the back of this a little bit easier. So I do believe we'll be able to see the docks and things working. The weather's now come out lovely, which is fine, but this is where the camera really starts to get hot, because like I said, it starts to overheat, because I do a lot of stuff in 4K, so there's a lot of bits and pieces to take in. And then as we come round, get ready for it. That was obvious. We are now up at the top of this next section, so we can see everything on this side coming down. So where we just were is on the right hand side. We'll now soak in everything that's available on the left hand side. And again, massive building. So the train, even though it looked like it went in between these two bits, actually went behind where we are now. And again, look at the grass, you've got people taking photos. There's some little hidden Easter eggs dotted around somewhere. I'm sure I spotted something that made me giggle. You've got the cement mixer in there. Lots of people dotted around. I think now what I'm doing is I'm actually opening up the viewfinder, because this is where it now starts to get a little bit warm. So I try and get the viewfinder out the way of the back of the camera. So it might be a little bit shaky in one or two places, but that's just me trying to keep them going as long as possible. Like I said, it took me probably well over 2 hours actually to get around and film it all by the time batteries are changed. Now I like the Legoland lorry. I think that's a nice little touch going around. And there are a couple of other little lorries with adverts and things written on the side of them. So if you spot those local businesses and you know what they are related to, again, let us know. But sound effects coming in. So you can hear that for the boat and all the other bits and pieces in the background, and you've still got the beeping in. So if you know what that's to do with regards to the number and everything, obviously please do let me know. I cannot Google that for the life of me, but let us know in the comments if you can pause it and let everybody else know what that actually is and what that means. And just look at the buildings and just how far back they go. So you're going to need a really good zoom or some binoculars just to be able to see really far back, because they've added all the details still right at the back. So if you look at the top right hand side of your screen, they've got all the cars there, they've got all the people there, and again they've got them really nice and close just by the docks and everything else like that. And then as we come up and round, you'll see more boats, more people moving around. Have a look at all the detail that is on the boats, and if you look in the water, because it's nice and clear, you can see how all the pulleys and everything work around with the actual boats themselves. And then you've got a couple of the flags and the masts and stuff. And again, it does look like a lot of these have had the refurb. That Legoland lorry is still going round. It's about to pass the bus just at the back. And then just start looking for anything else that you can see. Now, the reason why it might be a bit bouncy is because I'm waiting for people to move as well, because I want to try and get everything. So don't forget, there'll be people still about. But so far, we haven't done too bad. I've managed to get the lands okay, and we've managed to see quite a lot. But there's a lot here to take in. So look how far up this thing goes, and this is working. And then as we come down, you've got all these details with everything sat at the front. Loads of tables and chairs, loads of boats, all different sizes. And then we come into even more things to take in. So you've got like a little market going on here. There's loads of stuff. You've got all the little clothes, the little stalls, the stands, t-shirts, everything. You've got a flower stand, stall, food. There's just a lot. If you, like I said, to keep saying it, you could just spend even longer than what I have just standing there trying to take photos of everything and just soak in all the little Easter eggs that they've put in. And again, like I said, at Christmas, at certain parks, they will change all of this. Halloween, it will all be changed. You've got all the statues and everything, and again, you see it from a different perspective. You can see different stalls that they've got. But it does amaze me how far back this land actually does go. Now, we are, I do believe, coming up. I'll let you listen to this. So you can see the 1705 written on the door, and that's just some animatronic sound effects and things from the church. Now, there's not too much moving in this corner, but I think what we will do is we'll pan up and then have a look at, there it is, the Legoland lorry, and then we'll go up to the American bit, and then I can go quiet again for a minute or so and let you listen to what these guys and girls have to say with all the information coming off. So this is sort of hidden at the top. A lot of people miss this. It looks like the train's had a lot of TLC, so that orange and the blue looks brand new. In fact, the train looks brand new to me. And then all of this has had a little bit of TLC. Now, it's going to get noisy in a second, so I will go quiet and I will catch you up in a second.
The historic Space Shuttle launch pad 39A, depicted here, was the place of embarkation for the first moon landing mission, Apollo 11, which took Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to the lunar surface. Apollo 11 launched July 16, 19. Shuttle lifted off from pad 39A with John Young and Bob Crippen aboard. The space shuttle here is going through its pre-launch processes. The crawler has dropped off the mobile launch platform with the shuttle orbiter, the external fuel tank, and the 2 solid fuel rocket boosters attached. Next to the launch platform are the launch tower, which is nearly 350 feet tall in real life, and the rotating service structure, also known as the RSS. Just before liftoff, the RSS pulls away from the shuttle orbiter and into the open position shown here. At this time, final checks will be made and countdown will begin. At T-minus 0 seconds, the 3 main engines on the orbiter will engage. Each engine will generate over 400,000 pounds of thrust and burn for over 8 minutes at full power.
So there we go. That's a little bit of information for you. We will listen again.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
So there's plenty of information, and we will listen again as we get further up, because I think you get given different information as we get up, so I will go quiet for you guys to soak it in. So like I said, I'm not going to speak over all the bits and pieces because I want you to be able to hear it. But if you did notice, compared to the other lands that has this American section, the rocket now blows the smoke, but it still doesn't go up and down, whereas the one in Windsor, if you caught that on the Miniland video, the animatronic is slightly different with regards to that. But again, what we see in the parks, it is different. This layout of the American sort of space station is completely different to the one in Windsor, and they've got different bits and pieces to look at. They've got different models in here, but again, if you look, you've got your American drink machines and your soda cans and everything else just dotted around absolutely everywhere. So lots and lots of small detail to take in, and obviously you can see how they've made the American flag up there with all the little studs, which is really, really clever, and you've got all the little trees and everything up at the bottom. And then again, as we come round, you've got all the buses, and then you've got massive buildings up at the top. And I do believe we catch some more voiceover in a second with regards to information, so I will go quiet when that kicks in, because I'm not going to obviously speak over the top of it, because you're not going to hear us both at the same time. But again, different colour picnic tables, so you've got the nice bright blue, all the space rockets and everything. If you've actually been to the actual space centre over in the States, please let us know what you think. Let us know how this compares to the actual real thing. I have driven past it, but we ran out of time to actually get in there and have a look. So maybe one day I'll try and get back over to Florida and have a look-see at the actual space centre itself. But lot of little hidden gems. You can see all the little artwork and things. I do believe they are. They're all the different posters and things. So you've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 different ones on the bottom right hand corner, and you've got all the models underneath that one building. You've got all these sort of solar panel looking esque bits over here, and again you've got all the different shuttles, loads to take in just within this section. So maybe I was actually lying about the voiceover coming back. I might have been getting mixed up with a completely different video that I did for this last year, because I actually started here last year and then we walked back through. But I like the fact that the train has all been refurbed, so that looks much more tidy. And then you've got the bus and everything at the front, because that obviously loops round, and then the voiceover from the lady starts to speak. There is a countdown timer somewhere hidden, and then in the swamp there's some more bits and pieces that I don't think I'd ever seen before with regards to bits and bobs on the left hand side. So you can see all the details within. You can see the fire engine coming from further afield, and then in the water you've got a lot of swamp stuff, which again I've never really paid too much attention for, but there was some bits and pieces that the camera didn't really pick up on the rockery up on that side. And now it carries on. So we have broken the halfway mark, guys, for this. We are already 47 minutes in, so if you are still with it so far, very well done. You've got the safari ride on the left hand side that has all the massive models and everything that you can sit down. That's like a 2.5 minute ride. Goes quite quickly, just with regards to seeing everything of animal-esque stuff. But we're obviously focusing on the Miniland bit, so we will do a loop of this where there's a lot of stuff hidden in. So you've got all the mooses and things all hidden up on the rock faces, and there's a good climbing team and all sorts of things to see around this way. And then before you know it, the models will get absolutely massive again, and then we'll see all the details that they've sort of added in cleverly, and they've made use of all the rocks and just all those different bits and pieces. So how they've done this area with the more loggy feel to it, it's very, very good, very, very clever. And you've got to look for all the climbers, all the high vis figures, and just the different types of models that they've got around within this area. That was smooth. And then as we come round and up, we will see, there they are, look, just climbing up, hidden above those black buildings. There's a couple of people which we will get a better look at as we come round. And then you've got this massive building with the nice little details and the gold. And then again, it just completely changes. It sounds like it's a sawmill. And then you've got all of the different minifigures and everything else related to what is around this area. So I think it's very, 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 very pretty. But like I said, it's just everything's a lot deeper than the one in Windsor. So you've really got to try and pay attention, really zoom in to see the people there, look, getting a photo taken. There's even people further back, what looks like they're having a picnic. And then you've got those two models outside of that cabin, which again, that looks new. You've got the old lady there in her pretty blue dress walking around with her either a son or a chap. And then as we pan around and down, again, there's going to be a lot of hidden bits and pieces. So you've got the bags with the person bringing obviously their shopping in. You've got another family just there in, again, completely different coloured house. We've gone for grey roof than the one beside it. You've got different texture on that roof. Panning it round again, you've got all the little details on the front here with the really bright, vibrant figure. And you've got the barn doors. It looks like that's very similar to the Lego Holiday Village with regards to what they've got there. Now we've got more sound effects. So this is a noisy section, this one, so I'll let you soak this in for a minute or two because we've got some other bits and pieces to see, and then I'll catch back up with you in a sec. Right, so it's starting to calm down with the noise and things. I think it's very, very effective within. Now, hopefully you spotted all the different bits and pieces that are on the oil dock. Now, look at these. These are really, really impressive. Now, there is a button that you push. The button that you push, depending on the time that it's at, you will get soaking wet. So you can see the bubbles in the water. Now, those bubbles are actually the nose of it being sprayed. So hopefully we might see it. Right, that is all calming down now, so that's good. So, onto the beach. Now, there is a few different bits and pieces to see on this. I tried to get it from a couple of different angles because it is quite difficult to get because there's a few of them. So, wait for the really smooth changeover. Oh, there we go. That's another one. So, we have people just chilling out on the beachfront just there, right by the water. And as we pan round, it's a little bit bizarre because obviously we've got these huge oil rigs and boats and there's a lot going on with that. But you can just see, if you crouch down in a different position, you can see some different figures. So you've got to actually move the actual shrubbery out the way just to see those people on the beach. But look at the buns on that. Somebody's had a bit of fun with that one. So that's one big Lego bottom, that is. Right, so we will pan around, move around. So somebody's had a good bit of fun with that because that's one that you've really got to crouch down to find and see. We will come away, I do believe we turn round and we have a look at another massive land which isn't as watery, I do believe. And then again, you can just see how pretty and how clever all of this is with regards to all the big blades and fans and everything. And then you can see how they split it up. So you've got these scuba divers down here. I think there's a couple of different teams of the scuba divers down this way, and you've also got the wagons and things and all the animatronics driving around. And then as we come up and round, there's even more different bits and pieces to see with the castles, and there's more hidden detail with the little bikes just within the shrubbery where they're either trying to fix the bike or they're just having a bit of a break. And then again, as we come round, we'll come round and have a look at this absolutely massive castle that they have up this way. This is very, very impressive. Again, the brick count on this is huge. Now, over the Halloween period, they do end up putting vampires and things on that. So again, if you get the little game card, you've got to try and find all the different bits and pieces, which I am determined to do this Halloween. I want to try and get their game for Billund. That would be a video that we'll upload, and we'll have a bit of fun with that. Like I said at the start of the video, which was nearly an hour ago now, that there are multiple playlists available with all different information with regards to accommodation, where to stay, and then we've got all the different lands split up, and I'm trying to do that for every single Lego park around the world. And hopefully as the channel grows and grows and grows, it'll be easier and easier to be able to get to these places quicker and quicker. And again, we'll have a look at them at Halloween, we'll have a look at them at Christmas, and you've got lots of information with regards to the Lego house as well. Now, did you spot the play area up at the top with all the slides and all the little people having fun on the grass? That was really, really far back. You've got the nice little benches. And again, then you've got the beach bit just down there, so you've got people sat down while they're taking a delivery. And then as we pan up and round, there's more stuff hidden just within the rockery. So again, you might need to go back, pause it, have a look, do whatever it is you need to do just to really soak all of this in. And then you've got the little monument and statue just on that side. That's the steps that we actually walked up to get to the American bit, and then we came back down. So that's just how big that little section is. And now we're moving on to the digger side of stuff. So we've got what I would imagine potentially something new will be going in there eventually, because I think they've just added that in with regards to how they've been putting the plants in. So that's quite a nice little touch, because obviously digging up to put the new plants down. So maybe over a period of time they might add in another model in there. To be honest, I think it looks really nice with the plants and everything that are there. Coming back round, obviously you can see the red on that roof looks brand new. You've got all the bikes and the figures and all the cars and everything. And then as we pan up and have a look round, you can just see how pretty this area is. Lots to soak in, lots to take in. We've got what looks like a little bit more noise coming in a second, so I will go quiet again for a sec so you can soak in, again, all the little different bits and pieces. But I do like how they've got the clocks and everything at the front, and you've just got a lot to take in all the time. And again, you've got the little person on the bike, you've got the little figures. And you just have that popping up from time to time. So again, depending on what area that you're in, you get the different noise and sound effects. I think you get the idea of this now, because we are 58 minutes into this. So we're doing good so far. Now, aerial view, you can see how they've got the houses split up. So you've got the different gardens and different layouts of all the different houses of, whatever. And you've got the heights. You've got the pushchairs, you've got the babies, you've got people walking around. There is still a lot within this area. And again, big old train station with a completely different carriage and combo with regards to the locomotive that is pulling it. And then as we come round, we'll have another look, I think, from the other side. And then I think then the lands get very, very spacious again, because this one's probably the tightest area for the land on that left-hand side. It suddenly then opens up massively, because we will start making our way to the shop. Now, if you notice, over the next sort of 15-20 minutes, more and more people do start coming over this way, just because it is after lunch. So they are obviously just soaking it in and having a look. But get ready for another one. There we go. So that's another smooth one. I hope you're keeping tally on this. So that is the power station that we saw. This is a cool train coming by. And then you've got whatever that is just down there. I should have spent another couple of seconds looking at that. But it looked like there was just some people working either beside the tracks or just making a bench or something like that. But again, you've got three tracks in. But this is the first time that I've spotted all the tracks here, because it links and loops around all the other ways that we've already walked about. And then you've got here all the builders and all the construction crew working on there. So there's 4 or 5 people doing some bits and pieces with all the power stuff. And then obviously you've got the power section. And then we're moving on to the next building. So I do believe the next section that we come to is the absolutely monstrous red building, which I think will be on the right hand side, I think, unless I stick it to the left, because I'm watching this back for the first time with all of you, because you can imagine it is just so long. So kind of making bits. Here we go. So I am right, it was just on the left hand side. So this building is enormous. Now yes, this is the one that, if you did spot, I did use as the cover photo for the Halloween video, and it is just full of spiders, cobwebs and pumpkins and everything. But you can just see actually how much detail there is without any of the extra add-ons. And as we loop round, if you look at that bridge and how they've connected the path to the bridge, we will hopefully crouch down and zoom through, and you'll see all the bits and pieces through the gates, and then you've got the bits and pieces on the front door. But just look how the statues are at the front, look at the shape of that gate, and then as we go up the bridge, you've got all the figures and everything on the left and right hand side as well on the grounds, and then you've got all the detail that is within that model. So that will be hundreds of thousands of bricks, I would imagine. The time that would have taken would have been absolutely enormous. And again, just the detail on this side's completely different to the other, because the other had a bit more of a flat face. This has all the extra buildings and everything on, and they've added all the wall and everything around the front, so you know that there's going to be models and things just to take a look at. So in the comments below so far, what's your favourite area? Obviously the bins, yes, they have got Lego tops on. What is your favourite area so far, or is it still to come? I still think the German area that had been refurbed was absolutely fantastic. This area now, I'd say it's a lot more open, so there's not as much going on, so it's easier to see, but I think it looks just as effective, because you've got the guy there painting the building. I think that's a really, really nice touch. I think he's got a little yellow Lego brick, isn't he? So he's either replacing bricks or he's painting stuff. And then as we come round, you've got lots and lots of locomotives all within this sort of dockyard. Dockyard, that's for the boats, you know what I mean, with regards to all the trains and everything. And then as we come round, there's just lots and lots to see, but it's a lot more open. So you can see all the different wagons, lots of things moving around. The diggers are working, the cranes are working, they're taking things off and on the boats, putting it onto the back of the lorries, but it's more spaced out, so you can see a little bit easier all of the displays. But look at the detail that's in the back of the lorry, how they've got the hole there, so obviously they're trying to fix different bits and bobs. You've got the Autobud right outside the front of all the plants and everything. And again, if you're looking around, you can just see stuff moving, going through the containers. So again, it's very, very deep, but there's a lot more space on this one, so it is a little bit easier to sort of pick up on the camera and for me to spot through the smaller screen that I'm looking at. But I love how they're redoing the roof. So they're retarring the roof, they've added in different colour. You've got the team up there doing bits and pieces, you've got the bright orange wagon just underneath, but then you've got the one guy sat down just having his lunch, so you can see the food there. But again, just look at the animatronics with how far that's going, how big that is, with all the wheels and stuff that are on the front. Lots and lots to soak in. So like I said, if you are really interested with this, hopefully you are if you've been watching it for the last hour, get yourself down here at a reasonable time, either just before lunch or just after lunch, or have your food as you walk round, because it will be a lot more quieter than towards the end of the day. So you've got the little van there. Now that we do see again in a different area towards the top at the end, because that wagon is actually dropping all the food off. Again, you've got animatronics, you've got noises. You can see the little birds that are on the ceiling, you've got the people fishing on the dock, you've got the helicopter that's on the pad, just chilling out, ready to take off. What else can we spot? So now it's got a little bit more crowded, because you've got loads and loads of boats, you've got the cranes, it looks like some of the boats are moving, lots of trains and stuff moving around from that bit. So there was a lot going on from that section, and now we've moved on to the next bit. So we will come back round and have a look at that from the other way, because we are just beside where we were, but there was a group of people there pushing the button, and I actually had to spend a while until I could get round them, so that's why that bit jumped. So that does not count as an overheated battery, so that is just humans in the way on that one. So we will come back round and have another good look. But again, you can see how you've got the space, you've got the boats, you've got all these buildings as we're coming around, but there's a lot more to look at coming down this way with regards to a lot of the dustbin bit on the bottom right hand corner. You've got all of these buildings. Now this street is amazing anyway, but again at Halloween they've got all the decorative pieces. The whole of the front of this is completely done up, so there's lots to soak in and lots to see with regards to everything on that area. It's very, very impressive. Just even because you look at all the bits and pieces that are at the front, so that looks really, really nice, but then you start paying attention to the stuff that's on the boats and what's down the side of each building. There's even more detail as well, so there's just lots and lots to look at with regards to everything. You've got all the cars, you've got lots of people. I couldn't zoom in fully and walk at the same time, so I knew it would judder. So you've got all the different designs here. Look, so if you look, you've got all the nice bits and pieces on the curved building. You've got people painting, you've got people doing stuff. You've got one person that's had an accident, they've fallen over. You've got the guy there with his little sack truck. Just everything and everything just to see. And again, it just keeps going and going and going. And then you've got all these boats that's just gone underneath the bridge. And then we carry on. So you've got some more noises coming now. You can kind of hear bits and pieces with the voiceover over the bridge. They were saying some bits and pieces, but it didn't come through that clearly. But lots of tables and chairs across in the background, lots of just people there just sat down. This has got some information, I do believe, which we will read on this one with regards to what this actually becomes. This is some famous thing where it's all just eateries and restaurants, and I think they've got the plaque, which I will read out for you, because I'm sure I stopped to read that and I just wondered why they were all tables and chairs out the front. But if you know the reason why, before we get to that bit, pause the video. You can let me know what it is and let me know if the information is correct. Right, let you listen.
During the First World War, Newhound's qualities changed. The large ocean-going ships would no longer land here, only the smaller ones that chartered between the province and the capital. Pubs and hostels popped up everywhere and crowded out the more common business. Because of the many pubs, Newhound was nicknamed the longest bar of the north. Soon, Newhound was ruled by sailors and marine workers. Ernähren der Wagen, wenn man sich hierhin verirrte. In der 80er Jahre wurde das ganze Viertel modernisiert und die alten
The longest bar of the north. It's a shame that it changed language then, because they're obviously talking about the pirates and stuff. So that long strip that we saw, they're all pubs with all the seats and everything at the front. Did you notice all the crabs and stuff crawling up the front of that building? They used some really nice elements just to get up the front face of that. I thought that looked very, very impressive. Again, now we're back into some nice greenery. So we've moved from the water, we've moved from the very, very busy area, and then we're coming around to absolutely massive buildings again. And then again, you've got all the animatronics and stuff. I was about to say we are starting to run out of time, but we've still got about 20 minutes left. But we're doing good. We've just broken an hour and 8 minutes, so we're doing all right so far. So if you're holding on there, well done to everybody. Let us know again what you're snacking on and if you are finding this entertaining enough, because obviously this does take forever to do. But if you really like seeing this in this sort of detail, I will do my best to do this at every single park. Obviously, if you guys think the video is too long and you don't want to see it, I'd rather not do it and then just do a walkthrough. But it is quite nice to try and pick up all the hidden Easter eggs and things that they've got in there. But it's just allowing enough time in the day to be able to do this. And obviously you can imagine the file size and everything is absolutely massive, being just over an hour and a half long. Moving on to this really nice park area. Lots of little hidden details within this, so you're really going to have to, well, I'm really going to have to look hard with this with regards to the size of the screen. But it does look like he's got an ice cream and she's holding on to something which is orange, and then you've got obviously the lights and stuff, and then you've got the steps. You walk up the steps, you come round and you come down into this next section. You've got all the benches and everything, so there's lots of detail within there. And then we come to the water fountain, and then behind that again you can just see we're back in the big area of the water. So the fire station is directly parallel to us. You can see again just how far you've got to walk for that. Lots of little hidden details within that, but I think there's a big group of people beside me, and I had to just keep walking up. So it is what it is. We missed a little bit. But again, if you look, you've got people fishing, and then you've got a model within on the rock. So there is a Lego model there. So there's another little monument. Panning out, you've got a lot of people on the platform, plenty of trains, a couple of people having coffees. Lots going on like there has been in the whole video. And then as we come up and round, we're coming back into all the boats, and then this is where we were. So you can see we didn't move that far from the other side. But you've got the Lego Stunt Show truck, and then you've got some other branded trucks again as well. So that is leader of the pack. So you've got all the figures and stuff in front. So I would imagine with how that's positioned, that would be a sponsored thing maybe. So they've added that in, which is always really nice to see, because it's just trying to spot everything that is new. And like I said, they do move the bits and pieces quite a lot, and they find it good fun for people to try and spot and listen. So that was actually a plane going overhead, not any of the animatronics, but again, I don't know if you'll be able to hear me without me having to drop all the volume behind, so I'm trying to do it where I don't do that. So again, you've got the famous Octan. So there's been some really good ideas about adding in an Octan hotel into my amusement park. So if anybody's got any ideas of what sets to use for that, let us know. And again, are you getting ideas with regards to how you can connect trains, what locomotives you can use, what things you can pull? Are you favouring to more of the cargo type of train, or do you want to try and do more of a passenger layout? There's a lot of everything, isn't there? And you can just take so much from this, make it into a minifigure scale rather than a Miniland scale. But again, we're still going on. So we've got a couple of lands left. I think we've got 2 big lands to go. This one, there is a lot of windmills, and the buildings are a little bit bigger. And then the one behind it, I think, is slightly smaller scale. And then we move on to all the farm bits and pieces. So we will carry on. You can hear all the church bells and everything in the background. Then again, you've got a completely different type of train station. Lots of little people in there, all doing different things. You've got some different plants, you've got different bikes. The figures and everything, they don't tend to duplicate them much, do they? They've all got different torsos, they've all got obviously different hair colour and everything else like that. That's obvious. And you've got another bike rack just on the right hand side, just as the train comes in. And then this is different because you've got the sort of walkway, cycleway for the off-road bikes, and the people walking around in all the stones. So we've just moved from the tarmac, from by the hard standing, to sort of the gravel side of stuff. You've got all the different building techniques and the different types of bridges. And again, I'm just going to let you soak it in just for a second, because it is very peaceful here, but it's also very pretty. So had all the animals and everything on the grass. It depends where your eyes went on that one. You could either look at all the blades and all the nice texture and how pretty it was, or you had all the farm animals on the grass, and now we've got all of these bits and pieces as well within this area. And then there is a lot of little hidden things. You've got the tractor at the back, you've got the boats. As we come round, which we'll get past this little bit just here, there's nothing in that bit, but then you've got all the animatronics now from all the farm side of stuff. And then we do find some people fishing in a second. And now we're back at the train station. I didn't have the shotgun mic on here. It was just the normal little mic where it does it from front and back. So maybe next time I could always try it with the front-facing microphone, where it would pick up those sounds clearer, but it would be even louder than what it is now. So I might have a bit of a play next time and use a different microphone to see if it will pick it up with all the sound effects that are further within. So some of the sound effects that haven't come through that clearly, I could do it that way, because for that I won't be speaking to the camera. I'll just do it as a voiceover. Otherwise I'll end up just passing out and blacking out. Now, if you notice, you've got the combine harvester. You had lots of different bits and pieces with the farm-related stuff there. And now you've got to pay attention to all the little stalls and what is further afield within the centre of these towns and cities. You've got all the cars, you've got the bridges. You've got a lot of little markets and farms, and markets that they put in. The farms we've already seen. But there's also nice little bits where they're just doing bits and pieces of the building work, where you've just got a group of figures with the little block off bit and the hole, and just little areas. But if you've noticed, it's gone from all the stone and all those different bits and pieces, and now we're coming right back up to the tarmac, the proper hard standing, where all the vehicles and things are going around. So now there's more animatronics here. You can see as the video is progressing, there's more and more people starting to come down and have a look. Because it's probably getting on for gone 3, maybe 4 o'clock. So if I remember rightly, the ride shut at 5, the park shut at 6, which is, bearing in mind I was at Legoland Windsor the day before this, and the Windsor park shut at 4 and the park shut at 5. So I'm not too sure why the times are completely staggered. They both opened up at the same time, and Windsor seemed to be absolutely ramsacked, but I think they're obviously in different opening hours at the moment, and then they'll go into their summer hours where they end up shutting at like 7 o'clock. And then obviously you'll be able to see bits and pieces in the evenings when it comes to their more winter-based stuff for all of their Christmas themes as well, because it'd be nice to see all of this lit up, the Miniland and everything lit up. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now again, you're going to start looking at the boats with the docks. You've got a lot of these wagons where they are collecting stuff from the farms, and then you've got all the little bits and pieces just at the front. So you've got just this old couple sat on the bench, which is really, really sweet, and then you've got the Technic bikes on that one, and then you can see the old Citroen cars that they've made up. And again, this is what I mean about how they've just got a lot of construction crew doing different bits and pieces, putting stone down. So obviously it's Lego bricks in the back, but they are on actual stone. So again, it's just a nice little touch. It is nice and clever with regards to everything. Now you've got all the church bells, and you've got the detail just within the roof and just how it goes all the way up. Nothing's damaged. And now moving on a little bit further on, you've got a wagon there where you've got the wheelchair access coming through. And then as we pan up, completely different section. Now we're at the opposite end, so I just didn't walk from the one bit to the other. You've got all these thatched roofs. I think the detail on these roofs are really, really impressive. And then you've got the phone boxes there, and you can just see how nice the roads are as it goes through. And then you just got to sort of let your eyes follow and just pick on something that you want to see. But I'm going to let you soak it in just for a second, because it's very pretty. So what did you spot on that bit? So we're obviously going to see all of that, but did your eyes drag to anything, or was it too far away? So you've got all the little, again, you've got a load of little models outside the gardens. You've got all the cars outside the front, and there's a lot of little hidden details with regards to either people holding things or just people sat down doing stuff, taking part in activities. And again, behind this church in this area, it was a zombie land for Halloween. So again, if you are coming up at that time, it gives you something to look for and look forward to, and just all the different models and stuff that they use. And they do pull some out, they do add some in just for that season, and then they have to replace them with different bits. So as we come around, they might have actually left maybe something in from Halloween. So if you spotted that, they might have left that in on purpose as a little bit of an Easter egg of what's to come. But you can just see, I like how the roofs and how the different colours work with each other. So you've got the browns, the blacks and the reds, and you've got obviously the red chimney breasts and everything else like that. But if you just look at the front of the building, how they've added all the elements for everything. I think they might have used all the lily pads, and they put the lily pads up the side of the building. That's just a nice little building technique which everybody can do and just copy and just get done. I just think it's a really nice, just a nice thing, really. Okay, panning round, I do believe what we will be coming to, we've got more of these buildings. You've got obviously the tractor at the front, you've got the guy doing the chimney sweep at the top. Again, really got to zoom in for that one, but there is some bits and pieces, there's some activity going on the rooftops as well, so you've got to keep your eyes peeled for all of that. You've got the chairs and everything, and you've got what looks like a maid getting some bits and pieces ready for that absolutely massive house. Again, we'll squeeze through a couple of people, and then we will move on to the next bit with regards to what is available for. Where am I going? So we're starting like just reference point. So we're going. I don't want to miss anything. So we started back at the roof point, and then we're just panning around. So I don't want to miss any of those houses that I would have missed, or I could have missed when I put the camera on the floor. Big old bus at the back, and then you've got the caravan and the yellow car there. You've obviously got a family waiting. There's going to be somebody coming around, so it might be a bus waiting to pick those people up. And again, in the background, you've got the big white building where you've got the brown and the green going up the side of the building, which again is very, very impressive. But like I said, as we come around, we'll have a better look at the huge house. You've got the cyclists, I think, coming up this way. So there are the yellow cyclists just there to the left-hand side, which we will get a better look at. And you've got a lot of stuff going on in the grass. So you've got the campfire with this one. So that's the first time I think we've seen that. You've got that little thing there. I'm not 100% sure what that's supposed to be. So if you know what that is, please let us know. You've got the bikes. You've got a little picnic area by the looks of it, just to the right-hand side. And then as we come round, you have got some fishing going on, which I actually did miss the first time. I turned the camera off, then just sort of stood there and looked at everything. I was like, oh, there's a whole display that I've missed. So I then turned the camera back on again, and we'll have a look at a better detail of everything. So as we come down this road, you can see the cyclists and everything. Now there are figures to the right-hand side, which I just overlooked, didn't think anything of it, but they are all fishing, so we will catch that back up in a second. That looks like it's almost like a little play area bit. And then again, you've got just all the actual natural plants and stuff. And then these gates are very, very effective. And then we zoom up again down the long driveway just to see all the bits and pieces that are on offer just there. So that is huge. So again, that would be based on something that's real. And then I thought we're coming to the end, so I was just going to stop it where you've got the animals and stuff. But this is what I missed. So just beside the cycle team, you've got these people fishing. So easily done. You can just oversee all of that, and then I pan up nice and slowly, and then you can see all the other bits and pieces they've got on offer. So you've got the people that are painting, fishing, and just chilling out and relaxing. And obviously the sun's just coming back out and the birds are singing. Now what you've got to do is you've got a couple of minute walk from where I was to this area. So I do believe I have seen in the past that this area might have been a Star Wars bit. And what they've done is obviously when they pulled the Star Wars bit out, this is all new. So they've added in all these log bits instead. So you've got the tree house, and then you've got the play area and the activities. So I think this might be linking to something that you can actually do in the local facility. So obviously that you've got the almost like the treehouse climb where it goes from one bit to another, and then you've got again a lot of farming vehicles coming off, being dropped off. This all looks brand new because it would have only been added in probably from 2020 or 2021, because I think this all got changed in 2019, and they have added in more since I came in 2020. So there are some new bits and pieces, like the bridge, for example. You've got the guy chainsawing down the tree, you've got the people kissing on the bridge, and then you've got all these vehicles and the people sat down having lunch. So they are adding in more and more to this area. And again, the tractors and things are new. The combine harvester bit, I think, was new for this year, or they added it towards the end of the last year. So they are adding in models all the time within certain sections, which is always really, really nice to see. And then you've got, again, nice tractor, nice big wagon, and then you've got all the logs and everything like that. So that's really, really nice and really, really impressive. And then what we will do is we will just jump to the next section, because again it's a good little walk to the next bit. So here we are on the next section, then we've got one more section, I do believe. We've got about 5 minutes left, I think, of me talking there or thereabouts, and then I'll go quiet for the last little bit so you can soak it in, and then it does what it needs to do at the very, very end of the video. So we really are starting to run out of time now, guys. So I haven't even said it yet, so if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Like I said, thank you very much for everybody that has done. Thank you to everybody that is new to the channel. I really hope you've been enjoying this sort of tour. Like I said, this is the most detailed thing I've ever done with regards to a Miniland. It does take a huge amount of time. So if you guys like this sort of thing and want me to do more, please let me know in the comments below. If not, I will just use the GoPro, which we can't zoom in on, and I will just do a walkthrough, and that literally is like a 20-minute walkthrough. So if you weren't to zoom in and out and do everything, it would only be about 20 minutes. But like I said, this is an hour and a half trying to get absolutely everything. Hopefully the voice isn't too annoying, and hopefully I've gone quiet at the bits and pieces where the animatronics and sounds and everything were kicking in, because I didn't think you'd want to see this whole video with just complete silence for an hour and a half. But again, let us know in the comments below what you think to that. I don't think it would work with non-copywritten music, so you know, we'll learn as we go. Look at the detail of all of this. So this huge building, as you go from top to bottom, you've got all the little picnic area at the bottom. You had all the grass and things. You had actually figures cutting and mowing all the grass and the lawn. You had people cutting down the hedges and trimming it all and just cutting it all back. And then they've added in the figures at the end of everything and in the middle of stuff. There is a lot to take in and soak in, and I'd like to think that those lights would actually work at night. So look at the garden crew. You've got everybody in there just sort of sorting out all the foliage and all trimming everything back, which again is really, really nice touch. Behind me, I think, is the new Super Mario area, so you can go in there and play on some games and things if the kids start getting a little bit ratty and tired. Moving up and round, again, lots of detail within the windows, ground level and on the roof. This building is just massive, so I would like to think that all these lights that you see would be lit up at night. Luckily, we actually managed to get near enough all the way around this one, because there was a couple of people sat on the benches where this bit is. So sometimes it's a bit difficult to film the back end of this, but you can obviously film the front end, no problem. So I think we've done all right with regards to soaking everything in. I think we haven't missed too much. I don't think I've missed an area with people having to stand there. I did have a bit of an issue here. I can't think the reason why. I would imagine it might be because if I turn back round on myself, there was people on the benches. Yes, so I've had to come back round the same way, because where those benches were, there was people sat there and sat up on the actual corner. So I thought it would just be easier to come round, go the other way, and then carry on going up. So I made the executive decision not to stop, which is just a little bit easier with that. So you didn't miss much at all. It was just that little corner, and now we're coming to this bit here. So you've got the sound effects for this. So if you push all the buttons, it gives you the sound effects with regards to all the cows and everything that are in there, and you've got to pay attention, because when you zoom in, I know it's a little bit dark, but with the human eye, there are things going on behind, so you can see models and other little bits and pieces within. So if I zoom in there, you can see him clearing up the muck in the background. So again, lots and lots to see. And as we come round, this is the final section, guys, so we are getting very close to the hour and a half. Now, each land does have its own full information. If you want to stop and read all of that, that's absolutely fine. I have done that in a previous video before, and I used to add in videos. That I really like that they're doing with the roof. I think that's a really nice hidden little detail right at the back. You've really got to zoom in on that one to see. Then also you've got all the cows and everything at the front. Then you've got the chicken with all some of the eggs that are smashed on the floor, and again moving into all the cows in the grassway here. And then we come round to more of the factories and the other little bits and pieces that they've got. But yeah, I really like how you've really got to look for that and really catch it, because it is there, but you can't really see it. You've got to really zoom in, and he's just right at the back, just hidden away where they're adding in the new slates and things like that for the roof. Again, you've got the flags and stuff. These are obviously Lego flags rather than the felt ones that they use in other bits and pieces. I think that's the last time the camera overheats, so that's always good. And then you've got all of the detail within this factory. Again, buttons are to be pushed if you want to make sound effects and things. I didn't, because I did not want to miss anything, because this area was quiet. Now, this is usually really busy because we are on Brick Street. So this area, a lot of people just tend to walk to the Ninjago section. So even if people are just walking to the rides, a lot of people tend to stop and take photos of just this bit most of the time during the day, because the shop is just behind me. So this sort of main artery walkway through, I was very, very lucky that I timed it how I did and managed to get everything that I got, just because usually it is an absolute nightmare just to try and film this bit, because like I said, it is so busy. But there's so much detail within all of these buildings. You can see there's lots and lots to soak in. There's the wagon that I was talking about before. There's going off to the supermarket, because there is a supermarket dotted around this way. But you can see everything going on with the household, bath, bed, piano. And again, they've got the open building on this as well, where you've got the little one playing with a dog. You got the person vacuuming, giving it a good hoover. I think there's a chessboard in the bottom left-hand corner as well. But guys, that's it. I am done. There's your little. It's going to finish with the airport again, and then that's how that will work. So you can hear the animatronics from that. But I'll say it again. If you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your support. And if you have watched this all the way through, thank you. Feedback in the comments below of what you guys think. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Ta-da.